Sorry about that. Beth, if we will kick off with you, if that's all right. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, all good. I'll start with Wayne. Wayne, it's always a tough task coming to Dublin, but today seemed a very tough one. Can you sum up that game from your perspective, please?
Yeah, I think collectively we talked about the start that we wanted. We wanted to match them physically. Obviously, you have to do that coming to Dublin, and our discipline needed to back that effort up. We weren't able to do that. I think that was evident in the penalty count in the first 20 minutes. When you're defending for long periods like that, I think there was 100-odd tackles made in the first half. It makes it very, very difficult when we do get our hands on the ball, and we weren't as clinical as we would have liked to have been. So it's certainly a game that we need to go away and look at and improve on very, very quickly.
I know that Ireland were one of the favourites coming to this tournament, but as we've known from previous Six Nations, kind of form goes out the window, and as last year showed, Wales ended up winning it. Was that worse than you could have expected?
Oh, look, we always look at performance. You can talk about the result, but we look at the performance, and yes, it's a performance that we'll want to improve on. We'll go away now and work very, very hard. We'll review that performance. The players will have a look at their individual games, and we'll come back in a positive frame and look to build on some of the good things that we'll find that we did in that game, but also make sure that we have the start in both halves that we need, and we get on the right side of the match officials.
Wales had to work so hard to get possession. Were you therefore disappointed about the amount of forced errors you gave away when you did get possession back?
Oh, look, I think there's two things. I've already alluded to the fact that when you make over 100 tackles in a half, it's going to a bit of fatigue does set in. It happens to any side, and I thought that the boys came back very, very strongly in that last quarter of the game and kept fighting all the way to the end, which is what we want. And I think, as I say, we've got to make sure that the start of the half in both halves is better than it was, because we certainly gave them too much or too many points in that part of the game.
Talk about penalties and discipline. Wales didn't get any penalties in the first half. Can you maybe give your opinion on that and whether you think that was fair from the man in the middle?
Oh, look, there was a lot of AR interjection on one side of the field, and he saw it a certain way, and we might disagree with some of those calls. In particular, I thought the scrum we were going very, very well. I thought that there was probably a few of those decisions could have gone our way on another day. But look, they see it the way they do, and they're referee it, and you just got to go with those decisions at the time.
Just a couple more from me, and then I'll quickly go to Dan. Obviously, Ireland's wraparound play caused you so much trouble today, and there was a lot in the press about Josh playing at number 13. How do you think he performed, and do you think that was something that Ireland targeted specifically on that?
Oh, look, I think Josh saved us on a number of occasions. It's easy to talk about the people out wide, but it's what goes on the inside first, and how quick we are to react at the first breakdown, and numbers that we get far side of ruck and on the near side, depending if they switch back or not. And look, I think to single out one person is not the right thing to do. I think you'll find when you break his game down, he didn't go too badly at all.
And do you think that yellow card was frustration from him, or just one of those instances in rugby which a split-second decision from him?
Yeah, look, it's one of those things. Seeing it live, the referee thought it was fine. Two players colliding. He's saying that the ball went one way and Josh has gone the other. So look, it's one of those things. He's been picked up and yellow carded. We move on.
Dan, just quickly one from me. We can sit on our sofas as journalists and fans, but how did that feel for you? You're the ones playing it out there today.
Yeah, I mean, like Wayne said, really, I think when you spend so much time without the ball, all of a sudden when you do get the ball, it can be, like you said, a little bit fatigue, or you're just a tiny bit off because you've been defending for large periods, and I think, like Wayne's alluded to, we said that the discipline and the physicality were the two things that we really needed to bring coming to Dublin, and we probably didn't get those two quite right, did we, in terms of across the whole 80 minutes. So we had a couple of half chances in that first half which we didn't quite capitalise on and pick up any points, but there's no doubt it was a frustrating afternoon, and we didn't get enough front football, and we didn't dominate enough collisions to really allow us to put pressure on Ireland for large periods like they did to us.
Just last one from me. Obviously, there was a lot to say about the players who play their domestic rugby in Wales maybe being undercooked because of COVID and games not being played. Do you think that was a little factor today, that simply they've not had enough game time over the last few months?
Oh, look, it's probably one of those. It's difficult to say yes or no, really. I think ultimately Ireland won too many physical collisions, and for us, for whatever reason, that's what we need to go back on and have a look now on over the weekend and on Monday, and that's why we need to have a look at. But ultimately, the collisions in rugby, if you don't win collisions especially against a team in the way that Ireland play, it was going to be a hard afternoon, and that's how it turned out. So that'll be a huge focus for us this week moving forward, along with the discipline, and we need to make sure that we're firing come a week Saturday.
Cheers, thanks both.
Okay, Nick, got time for a couple of questions each for you.
Thank you. Wayne, Lewis Rees Summit, was he entirely fit with that strapping he had after the warm-up?
He felt an ankle in the warm-up, but he was okay to continue on. So I haven't spoken to him after the game around that.
Those aspects you mentioned, discipline and physicality, obviously discipline is a tactical thing. How do you work on improving those two aspects?
Oh, it's hard work, isn't it? We've got to get our body heights right. We've got to come off the line with intent and make sure that we're working hard for each other. And I think there's no doubt that the boys will want to improve in that area, and they'll work hard at it. I have no doubt about that at all.
And at least you'll have the crowd back behind you in Cardiff for the first time in the Six Nations for a couple of years. You'll need all the support you can get, I guess, to roar you on against Scotland.
Oh, I certainly look forward to getting back home. There's no doubt about that. A full house at the Principality, there's nothing better, and it certainly does lift the boys, and we'll certainly be looking forward to it.
And Dan, what have you learned from your first experience of captaincy to take forward into the rest of the tournament?
Not a huge amount today, probably, in terms of it was probably one of those where from a tactical point of view and more of a player point of view, it was hard work as opposed to from a captain's point of view. It was difficult because we're better than that today, really. Do you know what I mean? And we know that we're better than that, and we just got to make sure we get a bit more edge to us in training this week, and not overthink things because that's there's not a huge amount to fix. It's like Wayne said, physicality was a huge one, and discipline. So there's not a huge amount to fix if you get those bits right. But yeah, from a captain's point of view, it was enjoyed it from that point of view. Really proud to lead the team out and do that. But a disappointing afternoon. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you, gents.
Okay, Ben, James, if you're on, you can have one question for each. Ben, you there?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm struggling with the audio on the phone. Dan, you seem to be having a fair few conversations with Jaco, even after full time, about the tackle area. Do you feel that you did make much of an impression on the official with those sort of protests?
Oh, you'd have to ask him that, wouldn't you? It's not for me to answer that. I think we tried to make the point. It's not an easy job, is it? And I think naturally we'd probably be looking at a couple of decisions which maybe could have gone our way. But normally when you're in the ascendancy and winning collisions, the referee normally rewards the team in the ascendancy, doesn't he? So I think for us to make sure that we get our own house in order rather than looking at ways of looking for excuses, then we have to get our area right first.
On Wayne, obviously, you mentioned the physicality and the discipline. Plenty of talk in the sort of 2 weeks before the match about the breakdown. Can we expect to maybe see changes in the back row and into the Scotland game?
Look, we'll need to review the game first and foremost, because I think we're a little bit better than maybe some of the stats might have indicated in that area of the game. But certainly we'll review the game. Everyone's game gets looked at, and we'll pick the side that we think can get the job done against Scotland.
Brilliant. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks all. We're going to leave it there, and I think Ireland should be behind us in about 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All right.